From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief creator of amazing ideas at Stunning Digital Marketing. In this podcast, I have my good friend, Mr. Andrew Palmer, with me. We're going to talk Bertha.AI updates and, of course, all things AI. This is one episode you don't want to miss. Grab a drink, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. This podcast is sponsored by Stunning Digital Marketing, the agency that can help protect your WordPress website today. Go to stunningdigitalmarketing.com and see what we can do to help you protect your business investment. That's stunningdigitalmarketing.com. Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. And today's podcast, I'm here with one of my dearest friends and somebody I utmost always enjoy talking to, the one, the only Mr. Andrew Palmer of Bertha.ai. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, well, thanks for that. You're very kind. Always very kind. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I was saying before we went to record how much I always enjoy talking to you. So I think this will be another one of those conversations. So there you go.
Let's hope.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna pull punches today. I want to jump right into the Open.AI CEO debacle, and let's just get on with it. We saw the CEO at Open.AI got fired last week or this week, and he's landed 3 days later, of all places, at Microsoft. What do you think about this entire mess being somebody who has an...
Has he though? It's a bit of, I did a picture on Twitter showing Bertha.ai being able to create good images. Now, in one was a Sam Altman lookalike with a background of yo-yos. I think we're going to see a bit of yo-yo going on. And Satya, I think, of Google, just did an interview with CNN. It's literally out today, where he was quite vague whether or not Sam was actually coming to work and Greg were coming to work with Microsoft. And he said basically wherever they work, they're going to be, we'll be working together. So it doesn't matter whether he's at Microsoft or whether he's at Open.AI. So I think it's an ever-changing landscape. There's lots of people out there that are saying things without actually knowing the internal situation, which nobody does, and even him said he doesn't even know why Sam was dismissed. And it seems that there's no malfeasance going on, there's no bad behavior or anything like that. And I think it's basically the board were hitting up their power, seeing how powerful they were. Maybe Sam and Greg just went, well, you're not that powerful. And they're co-founders. It's a danger of co-founders founding a machine, if you like, founding a business, taking VC money or taking money, changing it from, let's not forget Open.AI was established with Elon Musk as well, to be open source and to be not a total non-profit, not even a non-profit, something else. And, they had to turn it into a profit side in order to get investment, because nobody wants to invest in open source. We've seen that with WordPress, really. Matt's always going to big companies and saying, invest in WordPress. You're making loads of money out of WordPress, so invest in WordPress. And they're saying, well, what can we invest in? Are we investing in Automatic, or are we investing in WordPress, whatever? But, there's a WordPress Foundation if anyone wants to donate money. So with the Sam, Greg, Open.AI situation, nobody knows what's going on. So my only comment would be, I was surprised as a business owner who has had a board And, you know, I've been the chief exec of a company that was employing 120 people. We had a board of 4 people, 1 non-exec, and that happened to be a lawyer that used to just come along for the annual board meeting. But most of our board meetings were by the water cooler. You know, I remember one board meeting where my partner said, "Oh, I've just ordered a couple of Speedmasters, which was print machines." Oh no, okay, and they were 1.7 million pounds each. You know, so there was no board discussion on ordering them. We hadn't really discussed it before, but we knew that the business was there, and you have your trusted partners to be able to do what they want autonomously. And I think maybe that's part of the issue where Sam has gone out to other investors to invest in another part of what he's maybe doing with AGI. And that could have been, I'm surmising here, completely surmising, but that could have been, it might have annoyed certain board members. And let's not forget that other board members have got investments in AI as well. You know, the guy, I can't remember his name, but Cora, I mean, he's got Poe, which was basically an AI. Whether that's run off Open.AI or not, I don't know. I literally don't know. But he was setting up a GPT marketplace for that. So is there something in that? Was he annoyed that at the dev day Sam announced that there was going to be a GPT marketplace? And was there a lack of communication there? But then, you know, whoever the Cora guy is, and I can't remember his name because I don't use Cora. Don't think I've ever used it. But he probably felt like most layer apps feel at the moment. What the hell is going on with OpenAI? Do I continue exploiting the API in the best possible way, or do I go to somebody else like Anthropic or Stability AI for images, or Leonardo are going to be doing their images API soon, or it's out now, I think, but quite expensive. Who do I use? Or when 2 years ago, when we set up Bertha.ai, we were one of the first out there. We're certainly one of the first out there for WordPress, and now we've got a Chrome extension. So when ChatGPT came out, it was a kick in the nuts. There's no doubt about it. You know, we looked at it and went, oh, so we've built on a platform, and that platform is now selling the stuff that we're selling.
Yep.
Very much like WordPress. You know, I'm not snagging off WordPress here. I'm just saying WordPress in core, there's a lot of stuff that plugin developers developed, and then WordPress decided to put in core in another way. So whenever you build on a platform, whether it's WordPress or whether it's Wix or Shopify, you know, MailChimp had the same situation with Shopify. They were making fortunes out of their MailChimp integration with Shopify, fortunes, millions. Because everybody pays for plugins. They're all premium on Shopify. Shopify kicked them out because for whatever reason. And Shopify have their own mail solution now. You know, maybe that was the reason they did it. So whenever you're building on top of something else, you are always in danger of them building what you're building and making a seemingly better offer. But with the Sam Altman and Greg dismissal, going back to that, it's an odd board situation where they're not paid. They must be paid some expenses. I know that non-executive directors are generally paid expenses, but the simple fact that they're being reticent in saying exactly why Sam was dismissed. Got to remember, this is the CEO of a massive company, massively valued company. You know, before he got dismissed, it was worth $80 billion, allegedly. He's a billionaire himself. You know, he's he was a mentor and an investor in Y Combinator. He was the president of Y Combinator for ages, which helps startups. So, you know, he knows how to deal with boards, and he knows how to deal with VCs. He knows how to deal with equity partners. So why would a 4-person board made up of, in my view, underqualified people, business-wise, have the need or feel the need to dismiss such a valuable asset? It's crazy to me. And it's crazy to the 750 Open.AI employees that signed the letter, including Ilya, who was on the board and was part of that, and Myra, the interim CTO, CEO rather, the interim CEO that has now been replaced by the Twitch guy. They signed the letter to say the board's got to resign. What's that about? I mean, it's a crazy situation in any business, but because it's so visible, everybody's thinking, what the heck's going on? And, there's all rumors of on Twitter. I love it when people are going, oh, people who've built something on OpenAI, they must be crapping themselves, or anybody that's got a layer up on OpenAI must be thinking, oh, whatever. Well, actually, no, because there are other solutions out there that we can simply plug in instantly. It's not a big deal.
It's true.
But the ramifications for running a non-profit or a not-for-profit and a business alongside each other, where the CEO can be kicked out by the board. And again, I've got to make a reference to WordPress, because we've got the CEO of Automatic, who, as far as I'm aware, can't be sacked, and he's also in charge of the non-profit.
Which is a conflict.
And he can't be sacked. So maybe Sam needed a little chat with Matt to say, how have you structured this so you can't be sacked? Don't underestimate Mr. Mullenweg. He's a clever boy. He's a clever guy, and he's got it sus. So imagine having a company and realizing, I think he was 19 years old when WordPress was done. And then formed Automatic, I think 18 months or 2 years later, and writing the terms and conditions of how you would invest in Automatic. And by the way, guys, you can never sack me, like literally never sack me. And also the WordPress.org and the foundation and the way all that's gone. Sam definitely should have had a chat with Matt before he formed all that business out. So imagine being CEO of a company that you founded and then being sacked. I mean, he's got to be pissed off, right? Definitely.
Yeah.
Even though he's putting a happy face on it, knowing that he's very secure.
I'll tell you where that happened, Andrew, was with Cisco. If you know the Cisco story, interestingly enough, I just finished listening to a podcast on Business Movers, which is a Wonderly show, which I absolutely love. And they talked about how the VCs forced the two founders of Cisco out of their positions, and they were both the co-founders, and it had to do with investment. And what had happened in Cisco's case, there was a clause in there that the VCs coming in had the right to appoint any of the executives or disappoint any executives. And there was no employment clause in there. And it was actually a clause that if the founders didn't stay for 4 years, they lost some of their vested shares, even more so. Well, the long and short of that story was it ended up in court and was going to go to court, and the new VCs settled out and gave them their shares, and the two founders walked away with billions of dollars. But I mean, Cisco was another one.
The music industry. It's the music industry where you sign away your rights. What people don't realize you've got the Taylor Swift situation where she's re-recording her masters. But when you sign up a deal, I used to be one of my many things. People take the mickey out of me for things I've done, but I'm old, right? I've done a few things. But when I was a manager of a rock band for a very little while, a couple of years, and trying to do deals with record companies is like pulling blood from a stone. But they want their pound of flesh, and I think that's not unreasonable. If you're going to be an investor in something, or you're going to give us an advance of, let's say, I think at the time was £50,000. To be able to record the album and then maybe not publish it, so there's those aspects, but you basically have to pay that 50 grand back out of any royalties or PRS fees. So what we decided to do is set up our own record label and just pre-sell the album. This is in the days way before the internet, really. We did set up a website for it, and I think PayPal existed, so it wasn't way before the internet, but it was way before pre-sales. And so we just pre-sold, and we actually got £100,000 in, and then we could make as many albums as we liked on that kind of money. But we didn't sign away any of our rights, and we owned the masters. So like Paul McCartney now doesn't own the masters to the Beatles, or not one of the Beatles owns it. Michael Jackson bought all the rights to the Beatles music. Still gets a royalty, but doesn't actually own the business, if you like, the business of. He can't decide if a record gets used for a Beatles record gets used for an advert, or if it gets used for any other use. He's got no decision in it. So that's part of what artists and CEOs need to look at and say, what is my actual position here? I'm going to accept your money and your investment gratefully, and I'm going to grow with the business. But where's the power? Where's the power of decision making? And a good CEO will say, right, I won't take any decisions or arbitrary decisions. In fact, it's a matter of law. You can't take an arbitrary decision that will bankrupt the company, because that's irresponsible directorships, if you like. But I won't take any real hardcore decisions without board approval, or at least board advice. So I think the way forward for anybody thinking about, I'm going to take investment, is say, look, it's a happy compromise. You're giving us money. We can employ lots of people. We can give back to the community by employing people and paying them money, and we can also give back to the community by producing a fantastic thing like Open.AI and making a difference in people's lives, hopefully, for the benefit of humanity. That's actually within the Constitution.
Yeah, and you've just given me an amazing segue.
I can't see. Go for that segue.
Sorry, Andrew, you give me an amazing segue bringing up the Beatles, because the Beatles have jumped in the world of AI with a music song. What do you think of that? Have you heard it? And do you have any thoughts if this is good or bad for the industry?
I haven't. I mean, I do. I haven't, but I was using I'm going to name drop a company that I used the other day for something. I didn't use it. I experimented with it. There's a thing called Hey Gen, and there's a couple of other things out there like Hey Gen. But I recorded a 2-minute video of me speaking to camera, effusing and being enthusiastic and being a little bit down, a bit smiley, a bit happy, whatever. And then produced from that, they produced a video avatar of me. And then I gave it a script, and it was me talking on this script. Even after I had to edit a little bit, but I used to live in the West Country of the UK, and I still have that. There's a slight little accent there of Devoner where I talk like that. And even the AI picked up that accent and made me speak in Devoner, if you like, of the UK, right? The West Country, in West Country speak. So I had to correct it and just say, cut out the West Country. But I played it actually to our great friend Mark Westgard yesterday, and he just went, listen to this and watch this. And it was me speaking. And he went, that's just crazy. So that's the danger of AI, isn't it? Because we can, that can be used nefariously, I think. Me screaming at you, Rob, I need a loan. Send me a loan to this and send me some money via WhatsApp, and here's my number and all that kind of stuff. It's AP is in trouble. He needs $50, so I'll send that. And it's not me. It's an avatar that somebody's stolen or made out of pictures of me that are on Facebook or Twitter or wherever. But what was the point on that? The Beatles, the music. So there's a lot going on with musicians saying, I'm not going to sign up to this. You can now write a song in the style of Taylor Swift. You can write a song in the style of Rob Cairns, but it's incredible what AI is capable of. But where does it stop? Where do how much money do the original artists get? There's a couple of artists, and I can't remember their names, but they said, do you know what, guys, I'll sign up to this. I'll let you license my likeness and my style, but you got to give me 50% of the revenue or 50% of the profits. And I think that's a good way forward, because we don't want a Spotify situation where you've got a billion players and you get $27. That's crazy, because Spotify are the only ones making money out of that. So
that's true.
You've got, allegedly, you've got remuneration. It's same as photographers. You're not allowed to if you look at the stock.adobe.com and the Getty images, the ambulance chasers that are Getty images, if you dare to use a 100 by 100 pixel image that is from Getty images, you'll be sued for $1,200 sometime in your lifetime, because they got 500 people sitting there with Copyscape going, you've got one of our images. So licensed images are the same. Why isn't licensed music? Why isn't licensed AI images? So it's all right using Michelangelo as a style because he's dead and long gone and copyright's gone. But if you've got a living photographer and an AI has learned from their photographs and their photographic style, then that photographer surely should have some kind of copyright on style. But they don't. There's a court case in New York that actually dismissed that. A photographer came up and said, look, you've stolen my style. Here's my model, and here's the model produced by AI. And it's exactly the same. So you've stolen my style. So can a style be copyrighted? Probably not. But copyright laws, publishing laws, ownership rights, tough area for AI at the moment. And maybe that's where the board were worried with where AGI is going, because that's almost total intelligence coming to the fore. Maybe they're worried about safety concerns. Maybe they're worried about a leak. Who knows? Until the board of OpenAI are open, as in open source, and tell us their exact reasons for getting rid of Sam and Greg, or certainly for getting rid of Sam, and dismissing Greg from the board, because Greg was dismissed from the board but carried on being chairman, which is an oxymoron. How can you be chairman of a company without having a board seat? We won't know, and they're not being forthcoming. So could there be nefarious reasons? Who knows?
Yeah,
could
so
there be
true.
private interests in the board?
Yeah,
I haven't got my silver hat on, and I haven't got my conspiracy theory hat on, but there's got to be, they've got to have jolly good reasons for doing it, but they're not forthcoming with the information, which is shady, frankly, in my view, and it is only my opinion,
to say the least. In that one, as we move into AI, and you and I have talked before, you're the co-founder of Bertha.ai, which is a WordPress product in the AI space that we all love. It's wonderful. The Chrome extension's amazing. I will say that time and time again. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
What trend do you see being the biggest in AI at this point, beyond Bertha? Like, what do you see going on?
Well, autonomous driving. That's going to happen. I mean, that's autonomous flying. We've had, imagine, we've had drones out there that have managed to drop missiles on people and everything for warfare. I hate war, by the way. I just can't stand it. I think it's completely unnecessary.
Me too.
Just talk to each other, for God's sake. But anyway, you've got situations like that where a real person is operating a drone. That could be done autonomously. The fear with people, I think, is that a robot doesn't have, or an AI doesn't have emotion. And I recently, literally 2 days ago, sat down with my 21-year-old daughter and we watched iRobot, which was done in, I think, 2004. Unbelievable. I mean, and the book, obviously, Isaac Asimov wrote the original book, and the film has got nothing to do with it. But if you've ever read iRobot or any Asimov stuff, he was a proper futurist. It was crazy what he thought of. Where do the three laws come in? I'm not going to go into the three laws of them, basically, because I can't remember them. It's basically do no harm. So how are we going to deal with weaponizing AI? How are we going to do with medicalizing it, with really precise surgeries, because we can't, as humans, we can't do the fine work of getting rid of a brain tumor or, even removing a mole, and AI will be able to be very accurate. Humane have just released their little button that you put on. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a little button that has a screen on it. It projects a screen onto your hand,
Yep.
and you can talk to it, and it will search the web, and you can make it. So I say, call Rob in Canada, and it will call you, and I can have a conversation with you. That's innovative. Facebook had for a while. I've got some Facebook glasses here. That'll be more AI generated. Guidance, heads up guidance systems using AI. I love that idea of having a guidance system in your glasses or in your screen in your car, because it's right in front of you and it's not distracting you from driving. I've said autonomous driving, medical advances. AI was used in the mRNA virus, development of the mRNA virus, and
No question.
you can't, or vaccination rather. So for COVID, for that to be developed in under 2 years was quite incredible, and AI helped that, because it takes a bunch of information, can analyze it, and give you back a bunch of information, and the humans then tested that and went, yeah, okay, that works. So vaccines, medicines, better treatment for health conditions, transportation, all around. Imagine getting on an airplane and you don't have to listen to the pilot, who wakes you up at too early. Do you know what I mean? That would be great.
Yeah.
But I'm for AI. I'm 100% behind AI. I have
Me
some
too.
caveats. And I want to make sure that it's safe for everybody to use and be part of. Creativity with the use of AI, what they're doing in Photoshop, what they're doing in web building. You've got ZipWP, who part of Astra, doing websites on the fly effectively. Yes, they're using their own templates, which is great. They had a great start, but they've still had to build that situation out, and it will get even better and better. And in fact, with ChatGPT 4, you can actually draw your website, and it will come up with the code to give you your colored button or your gradient background or your whatever. And then it can, what I love about the creativity of AI, not necessarily Open.AI, is that you could write a blog post, and it could be a very descriptive blog post, or you could write a book, let's say, and it could be a romantic novel or an adventure novel or whatever. It could be a Pirates of the Caribbean novel. And throughout that text, it would produce the imagery for you as it's writing. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that bit of creativity. I really do. So,
I do.
I don't go deep into it. I'm very on the what can I do with it, and I love the fact I use Bertha every day. Of course I do, because I own it. But it helps me with my iterations. If I want to write a blog post, I've just written a Black Friday post, and I asked it to describe WS Form to me, the benefits of using WS Form, and it knew about that because we're all up to date. Barn 2 plugins, it wrote a nice really thing about that because I'm doing that. Atarim, the same. The fact that we've got access now to the internet, and it can scrape details from whatever you're doing. And I've got an advanced version of Bertha, so I've got the 1-2 ahead, so I can scrape the web with it. Because it's a bit expensive, right? So I don't want to put that out yet until we get the cost down. But so I can put in a URL and say and ask it to read this site and write a blog post based on what this site is doing. So, I love it for that. It's great. I love AI.
By the way, I have to mention we've gotten about halfway through this podcast, and our friend Mr. Westgard has gotten 2 plugs, if not 3 already. So there we.
Sorry about that. I apologize.
No, it's all good. We
So
love
annoying.
him. Yeah, he's
Everywhere.
annoying.
It's because he's so flipping helpful. He's also contributed to Bertha.ai. He's and that's the reason. He's also my very good friend, but also he helps us out with the situation which we've now fixed, and we're going to be uploading a fix a little later. When you can jump on a call very quickly with an expert developer who knows stuff inside out, and say, I've got this little problem, and he goes, oh yeah, just do that. I went, oh, okay, thanks.
I know.
Bye.
Me too. I do. I do it to them
Yeah.
too in Slack on a regular basis. I send them a text and say, "Send me the FAQ for this because I can't
Yeah.
find it." And to be fair, joking aside, Mark's a great guy and a good friend. So to both
Oh,
of us.
stop
So,
it. Stop it.
yeah.
Right. Next question.
Anyway, next question is: we've gone through all this change, and we know the economy's kind of where it's at. We're in a downswing. If you talk to people, we got messes going on in Ukraine. We got messes going on in the Gaza, which I don't even want to get into for obvious reasons. But we see this downturn, and people are worried about jobs. And every time I hear AI and jobs mentioned, it's, oh, my job's going to go away. But let's be fair about it. In the WordPress space, we've had page builders forever before Gutenberg came along. And page builders didn't cost designers jobs. The printing press didn't cost writers jobs. Is AI going to cost creativity people jobs?
Yes, it will cost the creatives that don't embrace the opportunity that AI gives them will see a downturn in what they're able to achieve financially. However, you know, from the old Luddites when they didn't want manufacturing put in, you know, automatic manufacturing back in the day in the UK. That's where the word Luddite comes from. It's not that you don't accept technology, it's that you fear technology for the fact that you're going to lose your job. In essence, you have to embrace it. Look at how Photoshop are using AI to help you as a creative do a better job. Look at the fact that you can now iterate and do SEO, search engine optimization queries with AI. You can write long form content, which you then edit. I've always said, and I will never stop saying, that you should, whenever you're using AI to write anything copywriting wise, you are the editor. The AI you're using is the assistant. There are plugins out there, and there's facilities out there say that we will just churn out 5 blog posts a month, and you know that's not the way to use AI. And you know, people are having some success with that, but I really don't want Bertha to be used, or AI to be used rather, just to churn out rubbish, because at the end of the day, AI will be scraping that rubbish and then returning that rubbish back. So we need to have some quality control on that. So we've got a responsibility as human beings to put our creative touch to it. But there's a lot of stuff when AI becomes less hallucinatory and more able to discern the facts from fiction, I think factual writing will improve because the facts will be there. You know, people deny facts now, let alone what's going to happen with AI. I think the creative side of writing will improve and also help you get away from the blank page syndrome that we always say, the old cliche. You know, when you can't write about something, and you can maybe explain that situation to an AI and say, I cannot think of anything good to say about this particular subject. Give me some prompts, or help me out here. And it throws you back loads of information even if it's one snippet of information given to you that you can then use to your success, then that's the benefit of anything. And I tell you where I got that from. I stole that from Chris Lemmer. I was lucky enough to go to Cabo Press, and it's a 4-day thing, and it's basically 4 hours of being talked at by people that know their stuff, right? And they can educate you. And one thing that Chris Lemmer said to all of us, and I really, at the end of the day, and he said, if you take one thing from this 4 days of investment that you've made in Cabo Press, one thing that changes your business for the better, then we've succeeded, right? We've succeeded in having a good thing here. And I think that's the benefit of when you look at anything. If you can say you can take one thing from a friendship that makes makes a difference to your life, a positive difference to your life. One thing from a relationship, whether it be business or personal, one thing from AI. If you can take one thing from AI that gives you a positive change, I think AI is one. Simple as that.
I agree with you. Now we've talked a little bit about AI. Let's dive into Bertha, because I love this product. And here we go again. Yeah, talk about shameless plugs, but it's my podcast, so I can do what I want. So here we go. I'm actually going to jump into using it, I think, on an SEO project, interestingly enough, for an accounting services company. So I'm going to try that out and see how it goes. I mean, you and I have talked about Bertha before, and you're pretty prominent on X, formerly known as Twitter, or whatever you want to call it today. So you talk about Bertha. What exciting changes are coming down the pipe for Bertha, and why Bertha?
Exciting changes are we're still going to use Open.AI.
Yeah.
We are plugged into about 3 different AIs at the moment, where if Open.AI does collapse, we just flick a switch and it goes. It's kind of, Bertha's funny. It's a WordPress plugin and a Chrome extension, but it's a SaaS. It's a software as a service. So on the servers, we actually can turn things on, turn things off. So we can swap the APIs or the queries because the API goes back to our website or server and then goes on to whoever we're using, whether it's Stability.AI or Cohere or Anthropothic or whoever we decide to use. And we've actually got a facility in it now that goes, if Open.AI don't give us a response quickly enough, it just goes to Cohere and says, here's the answer. And it gives great answers because it's all in the prompt, right? So we develop our own prompts and it's boom. One of the exciting things that is coming is that we will have a ChatGPT-4-like interface. So it's difficult to say, and the reason doing that is because you can then use the ChatGPT-4 interface to generate images within their using AI, and we can plug in Stability AI into that as well because we've got an image generator too, and we've got to make some improvements to that. But actually, the quality of the images coming out of that are phenomenal. We took out Whisper on the last iteration because it just wasn't working from an OpenAI perspective. So we're working on actually uploading video or audio and translating that, but not with Whisper, with something else. So that's coming, and it's a better interface to do that as well, and faster and cheaper, which is good because we're not much. We're like $20 a month, so we've got to be careful about our own costs as well. So we're almost a free service, frankly. But anyway, and there's free too. But the really exciting thing is the chat being able to do everything in one window. Generate your images, generate your voice, generate your video, generate your avatar. Because a lot of people, I want people to be able to use Bertha as their one-stop shop. So you can. And not to overcrowd it, but basically, so I can upload 20 images of me smiling, leaning, whatever, different clothing, and then produce a LinkedIn profile picture. So that's nice to be able to do. I want Bertha to be able to, you upload a 30-second or a 1 minute of your voice and then produce, when you go back in Bertha, when you write your post, it can actually turn that post into a podcast using your voice, so people can choose to listen to it or read it.
I like that. I love that.
That's what's coming. So we can do it the other way around. We can put up a 25 meg with Whisper, with another one it's like 50 meg, the one we're experimenting with, of voice or video, and it will transcribe that video and even translate that video and produce an SRT file. And we've taken that out of Bertha for a while because of the reliability issues with Whisper. But we can't do it the other way around. I want to be able to upload text and then to read it back to me in my voice. And that's one of the exciting things coming. and also making more of a and also making your own chatbots from Bertha.ai, and also being able to add your own Open.AI key or Anthropic key or Cohere key to Bertha using our prompts, but you're actually paying it directly to you're paying the Open.AI or the AI costs directly. So therefore, the chatbots will be a one-off cost. Simple as that. So making your own chatbot, which you can embed on your own website. Examining your website, examining PDFs. There's a guy out there called PDFai.com or something. He's making an absolute fortune. It's not about money for us. It's about accessibility. So if I can upload a PDF to a Bertha chatbot and then make that, allow people to ask questions on that PDF, to interrogate a PDF, if it's a 50-page PDF, or even if it's a knowledge base like WordPress or anything like that, Docsbot.ai is doing a great job on that kind of stuff, interrogating data, interrogating knowledge base, stuff like that. So we're building out bots that will be able to do that for you, but you'll pay the AI cost, because the training is where the cost is. So you won't be able to sign up to Bertha for $20 a month and then use our bot, and then it will cost us 400 quid. It's just that's not practical for us.
No.
So lots of stuff. Integration with forms, integrations with SEO plugins, which we've already got, and we integrate massively with Yoast. Yoast have got their own AI solution now, but we integrated with Yoast about a year ago, where you can write your own meta tags and SEO titles, because Bertha's got the prompts. So some of the prompts will disappear because they won't be necessary. We've actually got, I don't know whether you've used the Chrome extension Lite or the Chrome Lite extension.
I have actually.
Yeah, so that's got a gold star from Google for being brilliant, which is weird, but
it is brilliant.
That hasn't got any of the prompts in it. It's just got chat and write, I think, and images. So it's not so bad, right?
So if you're looking for an AI product, I'd encourage you to go over to Bertha.ai and check out their product, because it's amazing. I mean, your co-founder is Vito, right? And Vito Payment.
Yeah, well, Vito's kind of taken a back seat on it. You won't mind me saying this, because he's got Atarim, and I'm an investor in Atarim as well. So I have nothing to do with Atarim, and Vito has nothing to do with Bertha now. He's just the co-founder, and without him, we wouldn't have had the idea. He came up with the idea. His team couldn't exploit it. My team could. I've got a dev team as well, so they worked really hard. We started in May 2021, launched it end of September 2021. Vito built the Bertha.ai website and gave us the incentive to be able to do it. But Vito and I are best of pals anyway, so he's better off doing Atarim, which is a phenomenal solution for people, and I'm just left on my own running Bertha.ai. Whether I do a good job or not, that's to be seen.
You are doing a good job. Stop it. Anyway, and then interestingly enough, I came across a tweet. I think I commented on it, away from AI, that you've jumped into going to almost websites as a service, or a couple months, or whatever you want to call it, where basically it's almost thinking of calling it like a rental website. It almost feels like you're trying to compete with Squarespace or Weebly or Wix. Is that kind of, or am I missing the boat on that one?
Well, this is the thing you need to know about me. I don't compete with anybody. I compete with myself more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm not competing with anyone. I've got loads and loads of friends in small businesses, and that, and I had a situation where this taxi came to me. Good lad. He said, "You know what? I really need my website done. It's old, and it was HTML, and it was horrible. It was 800 by 600. It was just horrible." And I said, "Well, I'll do that for you." He said, "How much?" And I said, "Well, I'll give you mates rates, 1,500 quid." Oh, he nearly had a heart attack, and he died. And I went, "Hold on, what's your problem?" And he said, "Oh, it's just too much money." I said, "Okay, well, let's split that over a few months. Let's do that over 2 years. Give me 350 quid now as a deposit, and then we'll do monthly payments." He went, "Yeah, okay." Then another printing client came to me. Their website had got hacked, and I did the same thing, and they took a sharp intake of breath. I went, well, let's do it as a rental. You pay this much, and I'll convert your website to Divi or whatever, because we only work in Divi. We love Divi because you can do anything with it. But basically, yeah, I came up with the idea. I thought, well, do you know what other businesses? So we charge £150 for a 5-page or 10 up to a 10-page website. We try and persuade people to go to a 5-page, and we do it from templates. So when you start from a foundation, it's quicker. It's quicker for us, and it's quicker for you to go to market.
Always.
And then it's 50 quid a month for hosting and maintaining the security of the website. I think it's a no-brainer, for 24 months. And then after that, you can decide to either move the site away, or even if you decide to move the site away after 2 or 3 months, then it's you have to give us £1,000 just to cover our costs. And that's part of the deal. I think that's fair enough. But there's a lot of stuff out there, developers for hire and caring and all that kind of stuff, or hire a developer on a retainer. And I think it's all about recurring income. And I've got another friend of mine that's doing a very similar thing for VAs. I went to discuss her pricing, but I helped formulate it with her and put it together, because VAs earn $15 an hour, $20 an hour, or whatever it is. But they need a website, and they don't necessarily have the time to build it for themselves because they're being a VA for other people. And also, they may not have that creativity. They can look after websites, but they may not have the creativity. Otherwise, they'd be a web developer. So she's doing websites for VAs very competitively, and based on a rental system as well, or a lease system. And I think it's the way forward, just to cut costs. I mean, Rob, if I hit you for a £2,000 bill, it's going to hurt you, right? Don't care how rich you are, it's still going to hurt you. So if I hit you for a £2,000 bill over 24 months, you'll go, oh, okay, I can live with that. There is going to be some abuse. I'm sure that people will stop paying and just disappear on us and everything, but clients do. I've just closed down 2 client sites for not paying me for a year. So
but it's interesting when you talk about web development. I don't want to do new builds anymore. I think I've told you this. Like, I've effectively gotten my agency out of the business of doing new builds. Now I've got a couple on the go. I've got a nonprofit for military veterans on the go because I believe in them. I've got a jewelry store, massive e-commerce build with 2,000 variable products on the go because the owner's one of my best friends, so stuff like that. But generally, I stay out of new builds, and people say, well, how do you make your money? And I say, truthfully, marketing, consulting, and security services. And if you've listened to me in the last year, I spend a lot of my time locking down websites. I'm now over 500 lockdown websites as of January 1st. And that's reoccurring revenue. One of the secrets to that is I only take annual payments on those. I don't take monthly payments because the churn is less on an annual cycle than a monthly. You know that. And I know where they go. I mean, and I do really well, but I get where you're coming from. Like, trying to do a $3,000 website is a hard pill for a small business to solve. Like, it really is.
It is, but also we've got very strict rules around it. We've got 10 templates now. We're just loading up half a dozen more, and we've got podcasting templates, we've got yoga, we've got business, we've got lawyers, we've got estate agencies, all that kind of stuff. But there's no complexity to the sites at all. They're literally static websites built on Divi. Now, the nice thing is that because Divi is what it is, and I'm looking forward to Divi 5, and I've tested out Divi Beta 5 and stuff, and it kind of works. It's exciting stuff. And also, we're plugging developers for Divi as well, and WordPress. So we've got no real issues about doing something. If we want something plugged in, I'm using WS Form for all the forms, so it's a secure form. I'm using Divi templates that we've adjusted already to be able to say this is how a website like this could look. I'm using we have a 15 to half an hour meeting with people to get the idea of what they do. We're using Bertha to generate the text so that when we're telling clients they've got to amend it, but it means that they've got the full service for a 5 to 10 page website, and we're only doing 4 a month because we've just finished a a massive website. It took the client, who are designers, 2 years to design, and it took us 2.5 months to build.
Wow.
It's very, very complex on the back end side of it. It doesn't look complex on the front, but that's part of the trick, right? Like TV doesn't look complex on the front, but it's the way it works and the way they can edit it and the way that it can be SEO'd properly and stuff is really complex. So that was a few £1,000s. You're not going to get a few £1,000 value out of the websites that we're doing, but what you are going to get is a very accessible website that's mobile friendly and desktop friendly and search engine friendly as well. So I think it's the way forward for smaller businesses to realize that they can actually get on the web for very little without doing anything as well, which is cool.
Hey, Andrew, thanks for sharing all your amazing insights today. Conversations with you, I never know where they're going to go because they always go. And as I say, that MW guy seems to show up all the time in our conversations. We'll keep bugging him till the cows come home because we can.
We will.
And if somebody wants to get a hold of you and talk Bertha, talk websites, talk anything, how's the best way?
Well, Bertha.ai, you can connect through there. You can connect at Arnie Palmer. Yes, I used to play golf on Twitter. And the Bertha.ai Facebook group is open to anybody that signs up for free. You can go to the WordPress.org, download Bertha.ai and install it on any WordPress site, Chrome extension, and of course, you can see me on any podcast. I'm pretty much around. If you're at a WordPress or a WordCamp in the near future, I should probably be wandering around there as well. So yeah, you can get hold of me.
Yeah. Thanks again. Have an amazing day, Andrew, and cheers. Have a great one.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks for letting me on again.
This show is brought to you by StunningDigitalMarketing.com, your Toronto leader in digital marketing services. Not only do we protect your WordPress website, we can help you with your site, provide social media management for your business, or even do one-on-one consulting. To find out more, go to StunningDigitalMarketing.com. A very special thank you to Andrew Palmer for joining me on this edition of the SDM Show. Hey everybody, Rob here again. Thanks for listening to the SDM Show. It's such a pleasure to have you every week. If you want more on our agency website, go to StunningDigitalMarketing.com. We are your WordPress security experts. We'd be glad to help you out. If you want to learn more about me, Rob Cairns, go to meetrobcairns.online. From there, you can find links to everything I do on the web, as well as book time with me. So feel free. If you want to make comments about this podcast or know a guest possibly suitable for the podcast, please email us at podcast@stunningdigitalmarketing.com. Or conversely, you can go to X, formerly known as Twitter, and tweet at me at Rob Cairns. This podcast is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much, and I love you. Please join us next week for another interesting podcast, and have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.